Hello dear traders, you are watching weekly stock market review on InstaForex TV channel with me, Tahmina Salomova. The US major stocks indices slipped Friday as Apple absorbed its worst loss in more than 4 years. Thanks to gain over the previous 3 days, the S&P 500 index finished with its biggest weekly increase since March. The S&P 500 index slid by 17.31 points to settle at 2,723.06, as Apple's 6.6% decline dragged down other major tech names like Facebook and Alphabet. For the week, the S&P 500 went up by 2.4%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed by 109.91 points, lower at 25,270.83 after falling 300 points early in the session. Last week, the Dow rose by 2.4%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite dropped 1% to end the day at 7,356.99. Over the week, the Nasdaq advanced by 2.7%, its first weekly gain since the end of September. Stocks had surged over the previous 3 days and finished the week higher. They suffered their worst monthly lows in 7 years in October. On Friday, the major indexes pared some of the losses after President Donald Trump told reporters the US and China are much closer to striking a deal on trade. Stock initially surged after the news that as much as 250,000 jobs were created in the US in October. Economists expected 190,000. Wages rose by 3.1% on an annualized basis in October. Apple, the world's largest technology company, shed by 6.6% to $207.48 on Friday. Apple's sales in its latest quarter and its estimate for the holiday season disappointed investors. The company also said it will stop disclosing quarterly iPhone sales. The change raised suspicions that Apple might be trying to mask a downturn in the phone's popularity. However, Apple says quarterly numbers don't tell investors how strong its business has been. Meanwhile, shares of Starbucks jumped by 9.7% to $64.42, its biggest gain since 2011. Starbucks sales were better than expected, and customers spent more after it raised prices for brewed coffee. It said revenue from cold drinks improved as well, and revenue also improved in China. At the same time, Kraft Heinz sank by 9.7% to $50.73 after its profit in the third quarter fell way short of analyst forecasts. The company suffered its worst loss in 3 years. You have watched weekly stock market review on InstaForex TV channel. Wish you profitable deals and see you later.